Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And welcome to the after-school special edition of the Lunch Table Show that we pre-record when we can't meet folks for lunch. So guess what? We just record offline and talk to them after school, so to speak. So with that said, let me bring up my co-host, Fat Steven. How are you doing?
Well, actually, I'm fantastic. I'm really calm, really down to earth. It's a nice day, not too much stress. How are you doing? How are you enjoying the
Oh,
weather down
good,
there?
good. Getting used to it.
Humidity?
The humidity is not so bad. It's the mosquitoes who look at me as the buffet table.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's not too fun. But
It's cool.
I'm getting around them. I'm getting around them. God, off is my friend right now.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty much it's like it's the name of the spray, and the spray stay the hell away from me. Amen.
Uh,
They ate me alive too. I hate them too. You know that feeling where like have you ever gone walk through like long grass and when the edges of the grass touch your legs, you're not when you're wearing shorts, and you feel like mosquitoes are attacking your legs, and all of a sudden you run through slapping your legs like a jamboree. That's
mhm.
pretty much me right there. I don't like nature.
Well, these mosquitoes down here are a different breed. They will bite you through your clothes, and
Oh no, thanks.
they're a little nuts. They're a little nuts. However, so if I have any wine, guess what? They're tipsy too. So,
Well, I'm actually kind of interested because the guest we got today is like I don't know much about them. I did a little rabbit holing in some of their videos, and
mhm.
I'd actually like to get to know him because he seems just as chill as we are right now. But I can't call him sexy, so I won't because I don't want to cause any problems.
He said, I guess he said I
Yeah.
could call him sexy. But anyway, Danny is one of those who I've like seen around ever since I started like in the chats and all that and YouTube. And he always has some cool things to say, especially during the Dark Council shows. And he'll be dropping stuff in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'd be dropping a lot of really cool stuff in the chat. So I'm really glad to see his voice getting out there even more on his channel. But I'm not gonna hold him anymore. Hello, Danny, aka Comics Chat. How are you doing,
I
sir?
am fantastic. And I want to say thank you, Mr. Creole, Fat Steven, for having me on here. I'm honored that y'all took the time, even thought about me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very
Yeah.
welcome. Very welcome. That's
Uh,
that's one of the reasons why I like the show. Bringing on folks like you
Everybody.
who have been seeing it get pretty much just everybody. Sometimes it's just a matter of time of getting on my radar. Sometimes it's a matter of time of just clearing our darn schedule out.
Yeah, I
It,
tell you, man, having a job and trying to do this can be very challenging at times. I have two jobs and try to do this, so
yeah,
I feel your
Man,
pain.
that's crazy. But the one thing about this is awesome. It's like we get to meet new people, and honestly, I'm not very familiar with you, but I would like to get to know you more, especially with some
Thank
of your
you,
points of
thank you.
view. And I love your
I'm a,
scenery.
oh yeah, I think it's Chicago. I'm not really certain. I just went on green screen, picked something that kind of catchy, kind of
hmm.
flashy, just pop it in. But I can pop in. Well, this is my favorite character of all times, Mr. Vegeta.
You got.
Damn.
Oh, you know what? I saw him plastered on a whole bunch of merchandise at Universal, actually.
Yeah, Batman
That's funny that you bring
Blast.
that image up. That's funny that you bring that image up because I do play a lot of Fortnite on streams with people, but they had a comic book release that was called the Zero Point Crisis, right? And the final issue had one of the guys on the map Deathstroke, Lex
Oh, I
Luthor,
like
and
that one.
the Batman who laughs, all
I like
Right.
conspiring
that
to
one.
take out Metropolis. So yeah,
And the ultimate man, he is God on earth to me. It would be Mr. Jordan.
Ah, Michael
He is
Jordan.
he is my all-time favorite. And of course, I just fell in love with Loki. The last episode was awesome. So, but
I'm trying. I'm trying to watch it. I'm trying to watch it.
hey, hey, the last episode makes up for the first five.
Okay.
I don't care what
Okay.
anybody says.
I'm trying. I made a mistake of trying to watch it last night
So
when I was exhausted and
just
kind of
keep
didn't see
turning
it
through
all.
it because I
Okay.
didn't like
Okay.
WandaVision, but I kept
oh,
turning through it. So
uh,
WandaVision pissed me off.
WandaVision was good up to
you
like
and me
episode
both.
5. I put a
It
lot.
just,
Yeah,
oh God, we
You
could
and me
be here
both.
all day
it, it
we talking about
But
that.
I will tell you this: Loki improves WandaVision.
yeah.
Loki makes me like
Really?
WandaVision so much more. Yes,
hmm
yes. I can't. I don't want to spoil it, but watch it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, I will, but dude, it's so glad to have you here. So what we do is we usually start out with about two just baseline questions,
Okay.
just for fun and kind of put you in a different kind of headspace. So, what are your memories of lunchtime at school?
Remember the square pizzas? That's what I
Uh-huh.
remember.
Yes, I do.
Man, I used to be like doggone Cookie Monster with those square pizzas, man. And I remember I think I was in the fifth grade when Thriller came out. And Thriller was so
Oh,
popular that they shut down like the last 15, 20 minutes of the class and they aired it. The whole school sit and watch Jackson's Thriller video. And man, I remember things like that. Recess playing cup ball. We pick up aluminum foil and play kind of like a smaller version of baseball. And then
hmm
at lunchroom's table, I remember, well, at the lunchroom between lunch periods and stuff, me and my boys just sitting down, chilling, looking at girls and talking about crazy stuff, getting ready for football practice. It was kind of like the
yeah,
watering hole. If something good happened the night before on TV or something, we
uh huh,
discuss about it. Hey, did you see this? You saw that?
yeah.
I don't want to tell my age, but you remember the old Spider Man with Nicholas Hammond?
Oh, yeah.
That was
I used to watch
that
that
was
too. Yeah.
that was hot. I tell you how old I am. I was a little boy when
35.
that played, and I used to, a little bit higher. But
You just
that
put
was the thing.
35.
I'm not ashamed, but I'm 50. But that was what I was talking about when I was
hmm
at
Oh,
the lunchroom table talking about. Man, did you see the Bionic Man? Did you see
Uh huh.
Kit? Did you see Wonder Woman?
Oh, you
That kind of
said
stuff. So
kid.
I've always been in love with
hmm
DC and Marvel ever since a very small age. So
I
this
have
was
a
a
question.
natural transition for me. Yes,
So,
sir.
hmm
so I had a question about that though. Seeing as how you are from like say you're 50, so how have you looked
Mhm.
at from what you watched as a kid and grew up with when it came to DC and Marvel characters? Because you have said in some of your streams or shows that you are a comic movie lover. You don't care. You just want to see them. You want to see all of them come to fruition. Have they done them justice since you were a kid and the memory and the imagination it gave you till now? Has it done justice?
What it does justice is when I look at the old shows now, I can see like, good lord, this was cheesy as crap. And but but now when I see with the special effects and all the different technology you got now to see that stuff, like to see how, for instance, I didn't care for this version of Shazam. I think the transformation on the old live action Shazam is hotter than
Mhm.
this current one, the new Shazam. But the
Right.
things that he can do and the different ways they show their powers and stuff, the technology has become so real and on point. It blows my mind. I never thought I would live to see like one of my favorite things is after every Spider-Man movie, they show him swinging through the city.
hmm
If you look at the old television shows, man, we'd be lucky if you see him swing one time from one building to another building. But the way he swings to the building and does the different acrobatic stuff and all the stuff that Spider-Man does, it's just
Yeah.
awesome. And I just it's amazing that I've seen this in my lifetime because I can remember when it was like super cheesy. You could see Batman and Robin climbing up behind each
hmm
other with the rope and no kind of sway or nothing to now when you can see that like Batman v Superman, that warehouse scene, the way Batman fight off all those guys by himself. You don't see no Pam, pow, boof, wham, all that crazy stuff. So it is just, I'm just blown away the special effects from back then when I was a little boy and didn't know any better to now when I'm a grown man, I can see how big of a difference it is. So to me, it's just amazing. And I'm ready to see even more. To me, the perfect movie, I don't mean to go on and on, but the last hour of Endgame, to me, is the perfect action, superhero action movie. I'm not saying that if you don't like the story, don't like the movie, that's fine. But to see all those many characters in one screen doing all that stuff, you seeing all their powers and all that kind of stuff, to me, it was perfect.
Was it like Christmas to you in a way? So if you're talking to, let's say, the younger CC, you were getting like everything at once in one big present?
When I saw Captain America catch that hammer, I almost lost my mind in the theater. My son was like, "Did you just see that?" Yeah, he saw that. I said, "Did you see?" And when he said "Avengers Assemble," that was something iconic to me. In Infinity War, when Captain America caught that spear, that was something that made me say, "Oh, I lost my mind." When Thor came in with the hammer, when he got his new hammer, and went to Wakanda and appeared down in the Bifrost, just those kind of things. And I was just talking about this on another channel. The Justice League Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't care if it's 4 hours. I've done watched it 3 times already. So to me, depending on what state of mind I'm in, if I got $20 and I gotta watch I gotta pick Justice League or Endgame, I'm gonna pick Justice League. Because Endgame, I like the first 30 minutes, next hour and a half kind of then the last hour is bang. On Justice League, I like all 4 hours. They chop it up in the different sections and stuff. I can absorb it when I want to. So if I only got $20 and I got to pick one or the other, I'm going to go to Justice League.
Interesting, because I know for me, it's like I'm not a huge DC fan. Just for me, it's like there were the basics of DC that are there, but mostly for me, it was mostly Marvel. So when I saw Endgame, and this was kind of funny because I'm like, why is everybody freaking out that Captain America picked up Thor's hammer?
What?
I did not see Age of Ultron.
Okay, yeah.
I purposely skipped Age of Ultron because it looked like crap, so I didn't watch it. So it's like, okay, all right, I have to go back and check it out. So aside from Tony Stark dying, which pissed me off, but still, I knew why. And I could see it coming back from a while away. But I went back and I watched Age of Ultron, and I'm like, okay, all right, cool, that made sense. And then I watched it again, and that same people freaking out in the theater that he picked up the hammer, that's when I could tap into that particular moment. So I totally got that. But
that was 10 years in the making.
And that was the thing. It was just like that was just it figures the one movie that I didn't want to see because it looked like it was going to suck was the piece that I was missing to see what happened. But comparing that to Justice League, like I said, I was pissed off about Justice League because of the Justice version, which I didn't like, which was crap. I said, I'm not a DC person, but this is a freaking travesty. If you want to make something so people like me who know the basics of DC would actually want to see it. No, that movie was crap. Zack Snyder, that one, while I felt it was a little long for me, it was still worth seeing. Parts of it were gorgeous. Parts of it were absolutely gorgeous. I can't say that it was 4 hours of my time wasted because it wasn't. Because I actually went back and watched it twice. I could have done without a lot of the slow-mo. I could have done without Ezra Miller, but that's just my personal preference. But that aside, it was actually a really, really cool flick, and I did enjoy it. And this is as a Marvel person, I thoroughly enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it was awesome. I was thoroughly happy. I didn't feel like I wasted my money. I hate leaving the theater and felt like I waste my money, and that's how I felt with Black Widow. I was like, waste my damn money. I was like, what the hell is this?
It's the worst feeling though, because it's like you're going out to not only like say not just for yourself, like say like I know like you have grandkids too, and you like going to see the movies with your grandkids because you say it in your
Mhm.
streams. It's the same family effect. You're taking time out to not only have a special moment with the family, but you're going there to see something that you're expecting to take you away for a couple hours, where you had a bad day, some kind of weird week, and you want to have that numb feeling. You don't have to
Exactly.
think about the outside world. Your floors are being stuck to your shoes. You're eating popcorns, nacho cheese is dripping off your shirt, and you're staring at a big screen going, I need this in my living room. Does this work?
Hmm.
And it's not worth it when you're dropping 50, $60 to be like, okay, I
I
could have just gone bowling.
I agree. If you take a chance to watch any of my past videos, Pat
Hmm.
Stephen, um,
I've watched a
there
couple.
there is one where I specifically says I like streaming services better than the
Hmm.
movie experience. And I was like, oh, and one of my buddies I stream with like, oh, you crazy? No, I stream a lot with Anzo Hodges, Rob Storm, Chris
Hmm.
Knight. They were like,
Hmm.
in fact, we get this little thing. If one of us say something on one of our shows and we disagree, we call it shots fired, and then we do a shots fired segment about something they said.
Uh-huh.
So I got a lot of shots back from that. But
Cece, you were right though. In that video, you're
I can
right.
tell you, I'm a law enforcement, so
Mhm.
this is a true story. On Black Widow, I got called 3 times on my job. I had to step out theater and answer the phone. The
Mhm.
theater lost power for 15 minutes. So when the power came back on, the
Mhm.
movie wasn't where it stopped at. It was 15 minutes faster, earlier and more advanced in the movie. So we were like, no, no,
Right.
no, we didn't see that. So they stopped it again, rewound it 15 minutes of material we already seen. So I had to watch 50
Mhm.
minutes over again. And then my grandson, he's 7 years old, and Grandpa, I want some more popcorn, and I gotta use
Right.
the bathroom. So I'm like,
Right.
really? But at the end of the night, I spent $48 on a movie I didn't love, that I barely
Uh,
liked. One reason I liked it because it's Marvel. I
mhm.
know that 2 or 3 movies from now, I'm going to see something that's going to make me like it more because that's what Kevin Feige does. He'll
Mhm.
do something here you may not like, but then a movie or a show later on will be like, oh, so that's why Age of Apocalypse makes sense. Just like what Miss Creole just said this now. She didn't know about the hammer thing because she missed something. You can't miss
Mhm.
any of Marvel movies because there'll be something in this movie that you see 2 movies later on, you be like, the light bulb will hit. So
Mhm.
I
Like Aunt
know.
May Wasp.
Yep.
I had to go back and watch that because I'm just like, well, how come everybody else got disappeared, but dude
Hmm.
just shows up,
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
So
But yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. But just to kind of ask about streaming service versus movie theaters, do you think that you feel you can hedge your bets better? Like say, hey, if I blew like say $10 seeing it on a streaming service, to me that's like a better trade-off than say dropping 30, 40, $50 in the theater and I don't like the movie. Is it that, or is it just the convenience of it, or was it is it
it's
with streaming
it's
versus the theater experience that you
it's a
prefer
com-
streaming over that?
it's a combination of both. Chris Knight, he was on the side of the movie experience is better. I'm not going to say the movie experience isn't better because most people
Mhm.
don't have that 2,000 inch screen. You're not going
Right.
to have that. You're not going to have the sound system. But now they make things. I think it's called a woofy or something. You can put on your chest, and there's a vest version of it. So when you
Yeah, I
watch in
saw that.
theaters,
Mhm.
you can feel the vibration in there. Okay, if I got something on a streaming service and I got a call from work, I can hit pause, answer the
Hmm.
call, resume,
Mhm.
go right back to it. If I got to use the
Right.
bathroom, I can stop, hit pause, go right back to it. If I don't want the $10 hot dog, the $15 slice of pizza, or the candy or whatever, I can go in my kitchen and cook whatever I want to and eat whatever I want to. I can plan
Mhm.
for it. I go to the movie theater, I'm at the mercy of that, not having those options. Then there might be
Right.
some knucklehead in there that's talking and going to distract me from the movie. I'm going to be upset because I paid money to watch the movie, not hear a conversation. Not to mention, if the movie isn't good, I'm still feeling obligated to watch it because I just spent $12.50 to watch it. So I ain't going to get up and walk out
Right.
of it. If I go into the movie and 30 minutes into it is crap, I can cut it off on my streaming service and go to the next one. So
Mhm.
to me, the streaming service is just hands and down the convenience of it, what you
Mhm.
can and can't do versus the theater experience is just better. I mean, I hate it.
Well,
I hate it for the theater business, but there was a time I can remember 8 tracks. Then 8 tracks got replaced by cassettes. Then
Mhm.
cassettes got replaced by discs. Now discs get replaced by iPods and now cell phones. I got a
Mhm.
truck now, a 2019 truck, don't have a disc player in it. I was like, "Where's the disc player at?" He was like, "Sorry, sir, we don't have disc players.
Mhm.
Here's an HDMI cable, hook it up to your phone, or
Right.
use the Bluetooth." So things evolve. So
Mhm.
the theater is going to be a thing of the past. I'm sorry, but it is.
I won't say that I will really, well, I'll miss it somewhat, but not considering how much they charge for you to go to a theater. Like I remember when I first got my first like really, really huge TV at the time was the biggest that was made, like a 50-inch. By the time I got that subwoofer, my comfy couch, I said, why the heck should I ever really need to go to a theater ever again? And then certain theaters kind of figured it out. So they had to plus up, their experience somewhat, but it's not a
It's not
cheap
worth it.
experience. It's not a cheap experience. I can't remember the last time I bought anything at concession besides coffee, because not for nothing, but I'm the queen of sneaking a whole bunch of stuff into the theater. Why do
I
you
don't
think
blame
Walmart has that big huge selection of movie theater candy right at the
you.
checkout? Because they know that's what you're freaking doing.
Uh-huh. And let me tell you, if you were my wife, I'd be helping you pack it. Okay, hey, pack this in here because you know the
Ziploc,
grandkids don't
yup.
want this, and the other. I'm not paying 30 something bucks. See,
Mm-mm.
they got me this time because I hadn't seen a movie in the theater in over a year. So I was
Wow.
like, hey man, Marvel Black Widow, yeah, this is gonna be tight
Yeah.
and stuff. And Marvel has spoiled me because I'm expecting old shit moments in every movie. Everything they do,
Yeah.
I'm expecting that. I didn't
Yeah.
get that in this. And this is the first Marvel movie that I actually kind of dozed off. I don't do that. Not in Marvel movies. So
I was I wasn't. In fact, Tim, I'll give her a chance. But I know for me personally, it wasn't. It didn't wow me for two reasons. One, Natasha's dead. Why do I want to see a movie about a dead Avenger? And if you're going to make a movie about a dead Avenger, at least give me some exposition that I didn't really, really, really know before. Like we saw the Red Room, but we kind of just like saw it. We didn't see kind of like the pieces of it. There wasn't
mm-hmm.
anything like emotionally that did anything, for me. I could have not seen this movie at all. What difference did it really
Uh-huh.
make in the Marvel universe except to, you know, pimp a Disney Plus series, which is Hawkeye?
Yeah. Well, like I said, Kevin Feige, he has a way of making movies make sense or mean more 2 or 3
Hmm.
movies down the road. So I'm just gonna wait and hope that that's what he does because I agree with everything you said just now. I had a look. I thought it was gonna retcon Endgame. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
Mm,
I guarantee you, because when she pulled that face mask thing off, I said, "Yep, there it is." But then it wasn't what I thought it was. I
right.
thought that it would have been her sister died
Hmm.
on Volmir, wherever planet it was, but actually she did it. I'm still mad at Feige for making the decision to kill Black Widow. Like, what the hell, man? Why kill
I
her?
was not
Kill
happy.
Hawkeye.
I know.
Kill Hawkeye.
You can
Nobody
get
care
rid of
about Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Do you think the reason why they didn't kill Hawkeye is because they're playing West Coast Avengers and that's the perfect way to lead in as well as the laziest way to lead in? Because we already got White Vision now for looking at WandaVision. And we have
Mhm.
Hawkeye as well as the other character we haven't leaked, but it's been announced before that's why they're trying to set up at least lead-ins for
The
the
West
West
Coast
Coast.
Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Mhm.
I just said on a recent stream, I would love to be in the planning room of the Marvel executives for about 30 minutes. 'Cause I probably would lose my mind at all the stuff they got in place, roadmap, all this kind of stuff. I would
Mhm.
love to see that, man, because we think we know, and I hear a lot of people talking about this lazy writing and Loki, Kevin Feige wrote himself into a corner. I don't believe that. And I keep defending, and I never met the man, but
Mhm.
I can tell. I know for one thing, he didn't sit on the side of the in his house in his chair wherever he sits at
Mhm.
and said, "Man, I wish I could do that or do that." He did it, and he's doing it. He has had a hand in making Marvel successful when it was almost at the brink of being bankrupt. So people that are always talking about Kevin Feige is this and he's killing Marvel and stuff, man, do okay. If you think you can do better, go ahead and get in the game and do it. Other than that, I ain't trying to hear all that because whether all movies aren't made for us to like them all. I don't like all the Marvel movies, but I
Mhm,
know and I have faith that he's going to make something that I am going to like. It's going to be
mhm,
profitable, and like everything else, I'm going to say this: sooner this is going to run its course. There was one time when Western movies were the thing, and it was gangster movies, it was buddy cop movies. Sooner or later, people are going to get tired of it. It's going to run its course. But right now, it's the king on the hill. So if you don't like it, don't watch it.
with
Exactly.
respect to superhero movies or respect to
Superhero movies, what I'm saying.
okay,
I think
okay.
I think superhero movies are going to run their course. There's going to come
Oh
a day
yeah.
when you're like, I'm tired of seeing this, but it hadn't happened yet. Right now, it's the hottest thing in Hollywood. So let it run its course. Something else will come and take over.
Mm.
But right now, don't be mad at the man because he's not writing, I guess, the stories that you want to write or you think it's lazy writing or whatever. It's selling. He had the highest grossing movie at one time in the whole world. So he's doing something right.
I think and I will say this because he's a visionary unlike Captain Kennedy. Uh, you caught
I'm
that,
glad you
right?
brought that up.
Uh,
I want to speak on that when you finish with your question.
okay, you caught that because, like, I will give
Yeah.
with Feige 10 years with the MCU for the simple fact that I can watch Endgame and be mad as hell at him about what he did with Tony Stark, but know that there was a reason that that had to happen, and it took over.
Hmm.
It took over 10 years, for that to happen. Another thing is you can tell when Feige does not have his hand in things because that's what happened with WandaVision. He was not running WandaVision. It was basically here, you take it and do whatever. And the thing is, you got someone working on that who didn't have the forethought to say, hey, maybe I should delve into the comics. Maybe I should spend some time asking people. Maybe I
Yeah.
should sketch this stuff out and not throw these Easter eggs out there, which we as comic fans can definitely pick up on, but you don't follow through on. Feige wouldn't have dropped the ball like that.
I agree.
So
I definitely agree with
so
you.
that's kind of like why I say why WandaVision was such a dumpster fire and why they couldn't stick the landing with that. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wasn't really down with.
Hmm.
I
I,
wasn't I wasn't really down with that.
I, I liked it.
I
I know a lot of
wasn't. I
people. A lot of people say it was what's the word? So it was so extremely woke. I hate that word. I almost hate that word more than a derogatory word for a black person. I'm
well let's
telling you, I'm
break
sick of
let's
woke
well let's break that down. So you say you're sick of woke. What is it about? Is it that it's
because
used so commonly now it's like a pejorative, or is it that you think some people use that word because they don't want to delve into certain issues that were brought up? I'll just ask.
I think it is used kind of as a scapegoat word
Hmm.
because everybody. I don't think that the executives that make these movies are like, okay, what secret agenda I'm going to put into this here movie today or this particular show. I just don't think that. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm naive, but every time it seems to me, and I don't want to come off as the angry black man or racial, but it seems like white
Be you.
Caucasian
Be
males
you.
are mad. We've been on top for so long, we don't want to get off the mountain. Now that women seem to be making more movies are being put in the spotlight more, they got a problem with it. Or they got a problem because the woman says, well, I'm not going to let a man take a credit for one. I don't care about that. I don't care about that statement that Batwoman made that was such that ruffled a lot of people's feathers. All I care about
Why
is that the
was that?
Batwoman, in the first episode or whatever, when they
Uh-huh.
didn't know whether Batman was back, Kate Kane, Batwoman, made a comment that
Mhm.
I'm not going to let um, Batman take credit for a Batman for work because when they first saw her, they thought it was Batman. Then
Right.
that's when she put on the bat wig and made the red emblem and the
Hmm.
red gauntlets and stuff, so she could
Hmm.
differentiate herself from Batman. Some
Right.
people were mad about that. I'm just using that as an example. I don't care that she said that. All I care is that when I turn on Batwoman, I'm going to see a kick-ass show because the comic books, Batman's family and his people that hang around him are badasses,
Hmm.
and they will kick and beat your ass. The show is just bad. Poor writing. Batwoman was sorry. She just wasn't good. I don't know who wrote the story. I don't know who did the special effects. It was just bad. So I stopped watching. I don't have to get on my platform and just speak negativity, negativity, negativity all day long. And the Star Wars fans are the worst. Are the terrible? Are the worst? And I'm gonna circle back around to that. People say they blame Kathleen Kennedy for whatever negative thing it is. Okay, she got some hand in it. But if you look back, her movies were profitable during the time that she took over. Now, I'm saying the movie's good. I'm just saying the movies are
Mhm.
profitable. A lot of that's
Mhm.
because of the strength of the Star Wars franchise and the name. But at the same time, she has a boss, Bob Iger, during that time. And I blame him because if I'm hearing that one of my workers that work under me and I'm at the top and I'm at the top of the CEO or whatever it is, chief officer, I'm
Mhm.
going to listen to that because everybody, if you turn on the TV or YouTube, whatever, social media, is calling
Right.
for a head. So he should have enough cojones or whatever the other word you want to call them, balls, to say, hey, Kathleen, uh, we ain't going to do this. We go in this direction. I need to do this,
Mhm.
this, and this. And what are you talking about? No source material. Do you see all this stuff in the EU? You ever heard of the EU? You ever heard of comic books, all this kind of stuff? There's a ton of
Mhm.
source material. So why would you go on the public platform and say there's no source material for Star Wars? I don't feel like he had that conversation with her. So if somebody gonna let me have the keys to the kingdom and don't check me, I'm gonna run amok too. That's what Kathleen Kennedy did. She ran amok because she wasn't checked. So
Mhm.
you can't put 100% of the blame on her. I think some of that blame rides on Bob Iger as well. And I always said that, but
Mhm.
everybody want to blame her for the downfall of Star Wars. She got a
It's
boss the same way as we do.
she does because I believe I said this in a couple of other streams too. It's like Kathleen Kennedy, yeah, she gets to run amok and everything, but you're right. It's like she does have a boss. She has Iger now. The first one, well, that's Chapek now, but her delivering the first movie, The Force Awakens, which is all right. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was kind of, it was kind of there. After she delivered that, he pretty much went hands off. And I think Midnight Edge pretty much did a video about that too. But that's pretty much what happened. Like, okay, she did the first one. We'll just let her go ahead and run rampant and do anything else. It seems like she knows what she's doing. It's not like she's new to Hollywood. This is not her first rodeo. So in a way, that's almost like she has no excuse in a way for just trashing a lot of goodwill. But at the same time, she's supposed to answer to Iger and they're supposed to put her in check. So either they had no problem with what she was doing and they let it go that way or what. But it's honestly at the point it's getting a little tired of people trashing can it's a drum that's been beat so much to the point where
Oh,
I don't even tune in about it. I don't care if her contract is up. I don't care if her contract is still on. I really don't care. I pretty much just moved on to other stuff. It's pretty obvious there's a certain way that they want to go with Star Wars. And you can either go with it or jump off the train and do something else.
I agree with you. I just think that one of the things on touch base, you said the Force Awakens. The only reason why I think the
Hmm.
Force Awakens made so much money, not because she necessarily knew what she was doing, but we hadn't seen a Star Wars movie in so long that the fans were
True.
thirsty. So they came out in big droves. But after that, I hear a lot of people say they don't like The Last Jedi. And
Oh, that was the
the
goodness. That yeah, that was trash. I will say
the
it. It was
Skywalker,
trash.
the
It
last
was
one,
trash.
I've only seen that one time. I read the book. The book made it a
Mhm.
little bit better, but I
I
was like,
can't
oh.
even push play on that on Disney Plus. I just can't. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what agenda you have,
Mm-hmm.
what angle you have. You make a good movie, I will sit there and I will watch it.
I agree.
But
Well
it's like
said. I
in
agree.
the end, it was just trash. Holy crap!
the the whole thing is, if we're going to look at the Force Awakens first, right away, what they did is they took the trope of, let's say, Return of the Jedi, and they treated Harrison Ford like Palpatine. They gave him a Palpatine's death. Right away, you turned an original cast into a villain. You made him no good. You took away everything he's worked for, everything he's helped for, getting over the scoundrel, eventually being a husband to Leia. You took it all in. Who cares? That in itself pretty much put a diminishing tarnish on where you could see this was going. And I know people might say this or that, but it was disrespectful. It was a travesty. It's not how you go about having a chance to bring back an original trilogy character set, a group that everyone has loved, grown up with, and shared with, and you don't give them the same respect. The same when Han dies and the whole Chewbacca not getting a hug or not even being
Mhm.
consoled. It's the same type of disrespect. You're saying your emotional values as a character and someone who has been here through so many years doesn't matter. The death doesn't matter. It only matters to these certain people. It's like you're taking away from characters that already had an emotional attachment. And then you're doing it to the audience at the same time. The audience isn't stupid. And I
Yeah,
think they're forgetting that.
I am finding that out more and more as each day rolls in YouTube. Because I'm telling you, before YouTube, I was naive. And there's a saying, "Ignorance is bliss."
Mhm.
There's days I wish I was still ignorant, man. Because now when I go to a movie theater, I, because being in this platform, I'm
Mhm.
looking at okay, how did this is shot, the score, and
Mhm.
does this make sense? Is this still I can't the word escapes, but is everything on the timeline? Is it making sense? Is it
Yeah.
cohesive? I didn't worry about that a
Mhm.
year and a half ago before I did this, and that's why I did the story, the video about is doing being a YouTuber because we're asked to break stuff down so much. Is it taking away
Mhm.
the actual experience to just go and escape for 2 hours, 3 hours,
Mhm.
4 hours if you're watching Justice League? And sometimes to me, it has. I was doing a part of roundtables. I'm going to do my
Mhm.
last roundtable after the Bad Batch is done
Mhm.
because it's just it's energy draining, man. When you see something and it's
Mhm.
not real, you know it's fake, but people are like
Mhm.
angry. I mean, angry.
I know.
That
Just
just blows my mind.
to kind of bring it back to I'm talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then I'll talk about Black Widow. But when people were talking about Falcon, and the Winter Soldier, and yes, they did have a specific agenda. They did. They made no bones about it. They pretty much said it out there. This is exactly what we're going to do and what we're going to go with. So it's like, okay, that's fine if you're going to go and do that, but you're going to have pushback, against that as well. And you had some people who were just yelling about, oh, it's woke, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. It's like, yes, there's some parts that are, but I said, but here's my issue with the whole thing. I don't like victim mentality. That's what
Okay.
I don't like. And I had to correct some people and say that just because the writer's room was predominantly Black doesn't mean by default it's a woke story. Those two are not are not mutually exclusive.
I
My whole
agree.
thing was I felt that I wanted to know about Falcon. I
Hmm.
wanted to know his story. I knew him from the comics. That's who I wanted to see. I did not want to see Captain America 2.0. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to know more about him. And I didn't get that feeling.
Well, we learned that he's from Louisiana, that he has a sister and two nephews, and um, we learned what he that scene in the bank. I have experienced that myself several times. So some people were upset about that. On some other streams I've been on, the cop scene in the street, people been upset about that. I mean, I'm not upset about that because those are facets of real life. If it was something made up, totally crazy, like that ain't gonna happen. But being in law enforcement, I see it. Being that I'm a black man, I've experienced it. So I'm not upset about those things that I see and it ties into the story. But there were some people like, well, I'm tired of seeing that. And, okay, it's a real problem.
Yeah, and
So
that's kind of like, sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you good.
It's like I would just tell people, it's like I can understand it's a real problem, but I think when I'm trying to watch escapism,
I got
to
you.
me that felt forced. It didn't feel like it was something that naturally flowed into the story. And I think because of everything else that's going on in the news, by the way that certain people talk about certain films, by the way that people are demonized, it's kind of just like, okay, here's one more scene that's going on. And nothing again that felt like it kind of felt like it was just inserted. It didn't flow naturally, for me.
I'm a kind of sort of. I'm sorry. I'm a kind of
Oh no,
sort
go
of agree
ahead, go
with
ahead, go
you.
ahead.
I'm a kind of sort of agree with you. I kind of agree with you, and then I sort of disagree with you. I'm a kind of agree with you about the bank scene because I said when I first saw that, look, Tony Stark would not leave the Avengers where they
Broke.
struggling for money. That
No,
wouldn't
they
happen.
had contracts. I remember
All he
that
had
for
to
the
do was
comics.
call up Pepper Potts and say, "Hey, my boat
Hmm.
about to go, man. I need," and it would have been there. So that was. I'll give you that. But the thing about the cops, I think they did that to hammer home the anger and frustration that the black cat in America felt. They just wanted to hammer that particular point. I don't think that was rushed. I think it was just to like reinforce his anger, his bitterness towards the country that he served. He went and fought the Winter Soldier and beat him,
Hmm.
and then they still put him in jail for 30 years, and he was pissed off. So that's
And
what I
that's
got from
something,
that.
and that's another point that I want to talk about because I had some people say that that was overdone. And I
I
had to
don't
say,
think
do you understand the climate of the country at that period in time? I mean, I looked at him and I would remember my grandfather who fought in World War II. He had to fight in an army that was segregated.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's real. And I think one of the reasons why I kind of felt that it was a little rushed because I kind of felt that they should have went deeper into that. Him
Like
bringing
a
out the fact that
flashback.
he had exactly like a flashback because that's kind of like for me. I don't like to be told. I like to be shown. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that if they would have shown him what he was actually doing, shown him that he's the only one that caught him, put him in jail, and you see exactly what he did. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I think for me, seeing that, and then you see that scene with the police, that to me is like an example for me of flowing naturally. Now, whether they probably didn't want to do that because they didn't
Yeah.
have money, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm all about showing and not telling because what I don't think and what I don't think some people understand. And it's kind of like a result of history going by and years going by and people from that generation not around anymore, that people don't really remember what that period of time was like in this country.
The thing
And
is,
some people try to ignore that happened or try to
Mm-hmm.
downplay that it happened and say, well,
Yeah.
oh,
That
well,
wasn't
things aren't
me.
as
That was
bad.
back
Yeah, that
then.
wasn't me. Things aren't as bad now as they were then. I
well,
said, that's true. However, it
Mm-hmm.
did happen. And bringing up the fact that it did happen doesn't invalidate anything.
I,
And
it,
what is the problem with bringing it up? Because here's where I get into arguments with people. It's like you can't discount what happened to people, and it
I agree.
seems like a lot of people want to discount, what happened in that
Or say
particular in that
get
period of
over it.
time.
Get over it. It's in the past.
Exactly, get
Yeah.
over it. It's in the past. It's like
but
when people say, oh, you know, there were slaves in other country. Every country had slaves. I said, yeah, every country. I won't say every country, but most of them did. But when did you see a group of people that were forcibly taken from their homeland, some foreign country, and this was done by several different countries in concert with each other? When did you see that happen? When people bring that up, it's not to say that, feel sorry for us or whatever. It's to bring that up so people don't forget what happened.
the
Mm-hmm.
the you're right in exactly the same way. What you're saying is pretty much we're being told something and this has been inserted in, but you're not giving the context behind it because you're not giving the reality of how it was back then. So they're thinking it as an insert of woke or whatever's going on, let's say in that generational year, like if we're going back to 2020 or to even now, everyone's only thinking about whatever they read on Twitter or social media or what's on the news, and they're already being affected by it and already have a central bias that they already considered being woke or not woke or whatever. But if Lorraine, from what you're saying, I think CC can agree on this, is without the context of the reality being given at the same time, like a flashback, you're disassociating the severity of how much humankind has grown from back then till now, and you're not showing how much monsters we were back then at the same time, because no
Yeah.
one is innocent.
Well, I'll agree with that statement. It's just um, I can remember as a little boy seeing the Ku Klux Klan march through my town on my
Hmm.
streets. I
That's
can
great.
remember them coming to different parts of town, passing out flyers, trying to grow their members. I can remember them having picnics on the fields on the outskirts of the town in full garb. So it's just if you haven't walked a mile in a man's shoes, you can't necessarily say tell that man that's in the past or forget about it because you carry those memories with you into the day that you die. So
Exactly.
it's just it's just crazy. It's crazy to me. Where some people love to say, "Well, that wasn't me. That was 400 years ago." Yeah, but
That's
we are a
far.
product. We are a product of our past. Whether or not we change it, or whether or not we um, take some of those traditions and modify it, or whether we stay with some of those traditions, that happened. Maybe not to me, maybe not to my dad or my granddad, but my great granddad. He took some of those lashes. He had some of those feelings, and he and in every family, every culture, every race, you bring down traditions and different memories and stories. So I
Hmm.
heard some of the stuff my dad went through when he was a little boy. I heard and I've seen some of the things. So you just got
Without
to be,
history.
you just got to be very careful when you see something that makes somebody feel a certain way that you try to be as sensitive to you or just don't say nothing. Sometimes it's better just to, if you don't know what to say, just don't say nothing at all and keep it moving. So
Do you think that we're at the point now where people are trying to ignore history because it makes them think, and it's not, and they're uncomfortable with how is making them think, rather than accepting that history is there for one reason, to teach us from our mistakes, to not only repeat them, but to grow, not only as an individual, but as growing up like beside our neighbors, our family, or friends, so we can actually make things better, whether at a small scale or large.
I don't know if he's trying to erase history. I'm not sure what this cancel culture has kind of got me perplexed
Mm.
because I'm like, I used to watch these cartoons like Song of the South and Pepe Le Pew and Yosemite Sam. I'm not offended by that. And to say
No.
that he's trying to rape the cat, I mean, really? Come on now. I deal with domestic violence all the time for the past 25 years.
Mm.
Come on now. If you read that, you are really stretching, man. You're really stretching if you can read that and translate that. And it's just somebody I don't know who this, I don't know who's the CEO of cancer culture, but I would like to meet that individual and see what the hell he or she is smoking because it doesn't make any sense to me. The way they did the lady from the Mandalorian, her name escapes
Gina
me now.
Carano.
Being a chrono.
Yeah.
It's totally crazy, but I will put a little bit of blame of that on her, and this is what I'm going to put on her. When you become famous, you get into a different stratosphere than the regular normie. So you have to be careful what you say, what you do, because perception sometimes appears to be the truth than the actual truth itself. When you're putting your name on something, putting on this social media, you should have a publicist or somebody that you trust to act as a sounding board and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this right here.
Mhm.
This. Now, in our culture, there are some trigger words. Nazi is one. You call me the N word, you're going to trigger a response. You start saying Holocaust, you're going to trigger a response. You start saying different words for different cultures, it's going to be a trigger word. So you got to be very careful and very specific how you use those words, being at the level of fame that she has. Should it have cost her job? Hell no. But at the same time, we know what kind of world we live in. We know the kind of game we play. And sometimes you have to insulate yourself or be two steps ahead or put safety measures in there to make sure that whatever you send out social media is not misconstrued.
Can
I'm
can
thinking it was misconstrued
You,
and it cost her a career. And it's
mhm.
very sad.
I think it was not only was it misconstrued, but there's a double standard out there. There used to be a time where you did have a publicist, so you weren't just shooting your mouth off on social media. So I think part of that is naivete because if you have, and this is true, if you have the right politics or the right outlook, Twitter will look the other way because Gina Carano got slammed and canceled for some of the same things that Pedro Pascal went ahead and put on there. And that was, and that was fine. He basically
I,
wound up equating people on the right to, Confederates and Yazis, and that was allowed to go. But Gina Carano makes the comparison, not that, but you're right, it is a trigger. But the simple fact that people did not want to see the larger picture of people getting canceled because they don't have the same outlook as you or the same politics as you, but you're willing to cancel them simply for disagreeing with them, not standing up for that simply because you want to be accepted. Now, when we used to have something called civil discourse in this country, but it's saying, yeah, okay, I see, I see that. But she wound up, getting canceled for that,
It's crazy.
which was absolutely crazy. But you are right. It maybe part of it naivete, maybe part of it of, I'm on a social platform, I can do what I want. But when you're Joe Schmo, you're right. You can pretty much do whatever you want. You might get, a couple of dings or whatever, but nobody's going to pay attention. But she's in a large franchise, so she's under, an even more extreme, microscope, under a microscope, and not having the politics, the outlook that Twitter wants you to have.
I agree.
May I ask a question related to this in a way? And I'm not defending sides because at this point, actually, it's 2 points. The first thing is, do you think the way Gina Carano used that type of imagery as to state fact was because it was the most common known thing even through history to date, and it was something that maybe everyone can relate to, and that's why that she used that example? Because it wasn't the example of one thing or another. She was trying, I believe, from my personal opinion, she was trying to show how mental warfare can work and how the neighbors in the country can fight your wars without having to ever raise a gun. And I think that was the imagery she was trying to put across. And using, let's say, WW2 as an example, that was one of the main things that was happening. It was a lot of ratting out your neighbors and doing everything just so they could survive another day. And it had a kind of relation to how we can no longer debate what side of the coin you are, whether it be political, a movie franchise, a book franchise, a video game, if you don't agree with your neighbor. Now, they'll either cast stones, point accusations, or try to get you gone from this earth. And they're not seeing the reality of how similar it is.
Is that for me or for Lorena?
You're the guest, Danny, so I'm going to let you go first.
I'm just going to say this. What can I call you? Is it Fat Steven?
Just call me Fats.
Okay, Fats? Okay,
yeah.
I want to make sure. Okay. This is truth as I can get, bro. I'm bare bones. If someone looks like Lorena calls me the N-word, I ain't gonna bat an eye. I'm like, okay, what's up? Well, whatever the case is. Someone look like you call me that, it is gonna trigger something, probably something violent, something that I'm trying to work on at my 50 years. I can't help it. That's just it. So there are certain words in the English language that triggers negative responses, no matter how you use them.
Yep.
Or if certain people use them, then it gets disrespect. It's a term of endearment. Another group of people use them. It's ready to fight. It's fighting words. Didn't make the rules. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
When she said that, I guess whoever heard Nazi and concentration camp or whatever the words she used, they just amplified it. Boom. Added more fuel to the fire. And Star Wars and Disney are in the business. Look, we're not trying to do nothing that's going to hurt our bottom line. So it'll be, but let's go ahead and cut ties and separate ourselves from others and make so we don't even get remotely associated that we are pro-Nazi, concentration camp, whatever that negative stuff. I don't think it was right. I don't think it was right one bit, or they should have break it down and analyze it like we do these movies and stuff. They chose not to do that. So until the world can get to a better place where certain words just don't trigger this aggressive negative response, then maybe that will cancel out cancel culture. I don't know, but I don't see that happening.
I don't see that. Go ahead, Fessy.
Well, no, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say, like, that's why I don't say those words. If I had kids, I try not to say those words. If someone even says it before a live stream, even by accident, but maybe they live in a different country and it's a different kind of word usage there, I refuse them. For me, when you're saying, I know what word you're talking about. When you're saying that, my balls start tightening. So I'm like, that's a word I know I get knocked out if I even slip my lips or I even feel bad. But like, I get it. You don't weaponize language.
And I'm not saying I'm right for feeling that way. I'm just saying
that is true because I said, here's my whole thing with the N-word. Either everyone can say it or no one needs to say it. And someone's like, I can go ahead and say it. I said, okay, well, you can go ahead and say it, but don't be surprised at what happens when you do. That's just, what. Yeah, but we all on different paths here.
I ain't there yet. I want to get there with you, but I ain't quite there yet.
We all on different.
When I hear you say it, I hear in I hear the A. When I hear
Yeah.
somebody else say it, I hear the ER. So I ain't there yet. I'm
Yeah.
trying to work through that.
But
That's just one of those where in my family, that was not something that you said outside of a certain circle. That
That is
was it.
correct. That is
Among your
correct.
friends and family, that was
That is
different. But
correct.
out there in public, you don't go slinging that around. Grandma
That
will
is
wind
right.
up beating your ass for
That is
saying that.
right.
That's not something that, we say outside of that.
Yeah.
I know for me looking at that, it's like, yeah, it's like you say or you use any kind of imagery from that period like that in this kind of like cancel happy culture, that will cause problems. But at the same time, I look at that and I think of kids I went to school with whose grandparents escaped that kind of thing. I look at, my grandfather who would tell me, I mean, even until he died, there's stuff I just cannot tell you about those concentration camps that I went to because those are real. And he would
Mm.
tell me just what happened with people during that time period. So I see stuff like that. And I'm just like, how come you can't figure out that she's talking about how dangerous it is when you start, just turning people over because they said
Mhm.
something that you didn't like. It's like, did you not see, this is just me, did you not see the movie The Sound of Music? What happened to the Von Trapp family when they had to get out of Austria and literally get out of Austria? Because the little boy, he wasn't a little boy anymore. He was part of the mustache guys youth group. He was the one who blew the whistle on him. And that's why they had to leave. So part of me, it's just like I understand the cancel culture that's that's out there, and no, it wasn't the best move to make, but at the same time, it makes me angry that people can't figure out the difference with that. That somehow people are so that they don't want to see the danger in what happened because history is either not being taught or people are too embarrassed of history and can't say, hey, that happened. That's not us. But, it did happen. But we learned from that particular history. And it's like people aren't learning from that. And that's part of the anger that I get. It's like people are not learning from history.
no one wants to learn. No one wants to listen. No one wants to debate and have a discussion. Like, let's go back like 20 years when like we're talking about, well, Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader, who's better, who's better, Obi-Wan or Yoda. That type of discussion could be applied to everything. Yet for some reason, as it's, let's go back to maybe 2005, it's become brick walls. You are now talking to more and more brick walls, but those brick walls also have the fingers that are pointing accusations. So it's kind of like an unwinning battle. And most of us, I think, have been raised, especially from our parents, however we were raised. You respect your neighbor, respect people you meet, you introduce with politely. You tell them your name, doesn't matter what you identify as, and you move on. And then if you get along with the person, you start talking more, you become friends. Hey, you get married if it's that point. And it can just be the simplest discussion talking about history. And history is a wonderful thing. It's there as a base, a foundation for not just humankind, but for the future of humankind. All it is opening a book.
But I want to kind of bring it back to what the video that Danny had. No, it's actually a good discussion. Go back and revisit that for a little bit. With respect to with YouTubers just deconstructing something so much that it's just like it saps the joy out. Like for example, with Black Widow, that movie's crap. It's gonna be crap. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go and see it. Go in with zero expectations, ground zero. I didn't watch anyone's reviews, even though I kept seeing alerts coming through from YouTube. I'm like, nope, not going to look at it. Nope, not going to look at it. I literally blocked everything out. So I said, let me go see. And if I sit in this movie and it's pure escapist fun, okay, I'm good with that. But I don't want to get so into the tax of everything that I don't enjoy it. And it was hard. I'm telling you, it was hard not to try to like overanalyze everything, but it had to get to the point where does this movie entertain me or not?
It just wasn't. Just after that, some friends of mine, they ranked the Marvel movies again. And one of my buddies put it like in top 25, top 24, the bottom 24 rather.
Yeah.
The other guy immediately shot it up to like number 5. I was like, are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? You put this in your top 5 MCU movies. So it makes you think when you see people when you see the spectrum that far apart, it makes you kind of doubt yourself. Well, damn, did I see this?
Yeah. Did we see the right movie?
Especially when we usually kind of like
Mhm.
on the same page. Like,
Yeah.
The question
I
is,
can't see it.
the
I
question,
cannot do it.
but the question is for both of you. Have you ever tried going in to say, let's say the next Black Widow film that comes out, not Black Widow, but let's say the next like comic movie that comes out. Have you ever tried going in with no expectations except for the joy of the character you're willing to see, and then see it through a what do you call a centered eyes? Like, you know what I mean? Though you don't have any affection from YouTube. You're not looking at other articles ahead of time. You're not going in piping yourself up. You just go in expecting nothing. Do you think that could change the outlook of how the criticism has come on both fronts, and to see whether or not you can enjoy the movie for the parts that were good, as well as hate the parts that were bad? Do you think we've lost that form?
I can. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Danny. You're the guest. Go ahead.
I can speak for me. I go into every comic book movie. Not now. I go into every comic book movie excited because I am in love with comic book movies. I'm in love with Star Wars. I'm in love with Star Trek. So when I go there, sometimes I feel like the perfect date, or sometimes I feel like a jilted lover. I felt like a jilted lover at this Black Widow. But in game, I was elated. I was ready to get remarried again. Infinity War, I was really over the moon. So it's just like I don't go in there. And Mortal Kombat. Oh my God, I was so excited for that. And when I saw it, I want to rub my. I don't know what I want to do on that. And I love Venom. But some of my friends I on stream with, they say it's garbage, hot garbage,
not
trash.
garbage. It was great.
So
I loved it, and I thought I was gonna hate it.
no, I love Venom.
I purposely didn't watch it because I'm like, people keep telling me it's crap. I love Venom in the comics. I don't want it to be crap. Watch the movie, and it had too much fun.
The biggest thing I hear is it's not the Venom. It's not. It is a multiverse. Okay, it's a different Venom that we are not used to seeing. Do I want to see the badass Venom that we've seen in the comic books and on the cartoons? Hell yeah, who wouldn't want to see that? But this one, I'm not ready to say it's garbage and trash just yet.
Yeah.
No, garbage and trash Venom is Spider-Man 3 dancing hot topic Tobey Maguire.
Stop. No.
Wagging the fingers around like he's about to strut down Main Street looking for that next Mary Jane Watson.
We do not speak of that abomination.
We do.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all two this. Who is the better Spider-Man?
That's
Tobey Maguire.
No.
Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire.
No, I respect that. But for me, Tobey was a good Peter Parker, but Garfield was a better Spider-Man.
Yes. Thank you.
I'll stand with it. But at the end of the day, I'm still a Spider-Gwen lover. Because
Andrew Garfield is the epitome of Spider-Man when he's in that suit.
Yes,
smart ass, cracky, sarcasm. That's how he fights his villains, man. Those web shooters he designed, all that is on point.
I'm sorry, Lorena. I'm sorry. I'm still slithering. But the thing is, I'm going from the 90s comic show.
Yeah. When you ever seen organic webs? And then when I'm feeling bad. No.
It's all right. Y'all are still cool.
Does anyone else need a new producer? I'm sorry.
Y'all are still cool.
Watch them again.
I'm starting to blank out a little bit here.
Watch them again. Andrew Garfield is a better Spider-Man.
And I'm sorry for saying no. I do respect the Tobey Maguire is a better Spider-Man. But I'm sorry. It's just there's two different people there when that's what they're playing, and that's the way I look. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
Who's the little snot face who's Tony Stark Jr.?
Oh, Tom Holland.
Okay, yeah, I can't freaking stand him. So
I don't like him.
I will give you Andrew Garfield. I will give you Andrew Garfield. I will give you that for Spider-Man. I took blanked out because I love Tobey Maguire, but I can't deal with Tony Stark Jr. I'm sorry. That's the pure abomination to me.
Have you ever heard of Everything Always, that channel?
No.
Okay. I don't know who this guy is, but he's plugged in. So don't watch his channel because you're not going to like Just spoilers on the new Spider-Man movie. You're not gonna like it, so don't watch it.
All right, I'm not gonna watch it.
Did you
I'm not
guys?
gonna watch it because I just
He
freaking can't.
usually is on point with his stuff.
But
Are
to
you guys
get back
Transformers fans?
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes.
Did
I'm
you
but I'm
ready
guys
for
see
gonna.
Did you guys see the supposed leaks of the new character model for Optimus Prime?
No, I
You
did
talk about
not.
you talk about they
Let's
going
just
into
say
the.
Generation One Optimus Prime truck,
I want
flat
to see that
front red truck.
black and red.
Well, no, the flat front like the original G1
Oh,
cartoon.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, please don't.
Well, I thought they were doing the Kingdom. The animation is going to be Transformers Kingdom. That's on the Netflix. The Netflix season 3.
Yeah. But the Beast Wars movie I'm talking about.
Yes. Beast
They're
Wars is
using
going to be
the-
awesome. I'm ready to
Yeah.
see that.
But to kind of wrap it up, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stuff like that. To
Well, you
kind of
got-
like, it's kind of because you did ask me a question about, about going into the movies. It kind of like to just enjoy it, like Godzilla versus Kong.
Awesome
I
sauce.
freaking love Godzilla. Like the trailer blew
Team Kong.
me away. It blew me
Team
away. Though I
Kong.
will say one thing about that movie, because my whole thing was, I'm like, Kong versus Godzilla, isn't that kind of like one-sided? Then I saw, Skull Island. Like, it was okay. It was okay.
Kong,
But
Kong is fire, man. You didn't like Kong?
you know what? No, I didn't. I've always been a kaiju fan. I've always been a Godzilla fan. However, one thing that movie did that I did not expect for it to do was to get me to empathize with Kong.
Hey.
I did not expect for that to happen.
Kong found that throne.
Still.
Mhm.
I said I'm still Team Godzilla, but I said okay, that was cool. I actually sat there and enjoyed the freaking movie. Just
I like
literally,
Godzilla better.
I did like Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha was killing.
Dang, I did want to hear the rest of that speech. When he's powered up. Holy crap.
To the water, he shore the keyboard. That was kind of weak.
I did. I was like, that's where you gonna go with that. You're not okay. But that I got to sit and enjoy that. Laugh about the fact that Godzilla was so pissed that he had to come to Florida in the first place. In the beginning of the movie. But that was just fun to watch. I liked it so much. I watched it at home. Yeah, you could see the fight.
Yeah. Other movies you couldn't see the fights. I'm like, I don't want to see everything at night. Why all the fights at night?
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah.
I have no idea. What we got here, Betsy?
I thought, since we're Transformers fans, this is actually first looks at some of the designs from the new Beast. That's Bumblebee.
Oh, I love that.
And when I say Gen 1, I said Gen 1. Look at that Optimus Prime. Look at that Optimus Prime. Now, I have hope. I don't care. I saw that, and I'm not going to... Damn.
All I need is the blue trailer.
Yep.
Long as Michael Bay is nowhere near this, we all right.
Yeah, Michael Bay he got to be stopped from ever even thinking about directing another one.
Don't even let it... dude.
Hey, Cece, do you like the new Netflix Transformers series they're doing?
Yes, I love it.
Me too. Isn't it like a cross between the dark, like the War for Cybertron video games and Gen 1 in a way? And I'm like, it's so well done. If they can have a Beast Wars insert, like where they found Teletron 1, dude, I'm done, because that's where Transformers Beast Wars picked up.
Yep. I love Beast Wars. It is to me, I think it's the best Transformer series ever.
Beast Machines wasn't that great, but I did enjoy the opening track. It was done by Left Field, and it was called Fat Planet, PHAT.
Yeah.
I love your banner, Danny.
Yeah.
Who did this?
My wife.
Props to your wife, because this is hot.
Yeah, I don't know how she did it, but one day I came home, I told her I want to do this, and she said okay, and
this is it. Hot, especially when Iron Man is starting on the left. I like that.
Yeah, she did that.
That is fire. That is absolutely fire. I freaking love it. I love
Thank you.
it. But
Thank you.
folks,
Appreciate it.
please do subscribe to Danny, aka Comics Chat. Dude, I'm so glad you came on the channel.
Thank you.
Tell some folks what you have coming up with your channel.
Monday nights, I'm 1/4 member of a group called the Chaos Central. It involves me, Anzo Hodges of Bigger Ford Entertainment, Chris Knight of the Real Review 3000, and Guy Scar of the Basco Scenario. The four of us, we have different shows. Mine's on Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anzo's on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. and Chris is on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Right now, later on today, in fact, probably about 2 hours, I'll be on JJ Sith Lord's channel. You have the
okay.
Bad Batch
Mhm.
roundtable we were doing. I haven't even watched Bad Batch, so I could go watch it. And
Okay.
I try to do a lot of videos from time to time on things that I like. And the main thing I'm harping on now is, man, we as YouTubers, we got to have a healthy medium or find a healthy balance between destroying movies and enjoying movies, because I don't want to go to a movie and have all these things about, is this shot well, or does this sentence make, does this scene make sense to this, that kind of stuff. I just want to go there and enjoy it, then start breaking it down. But the negative stuff, you won't see any negative stuff on my channel. You won't see me talk about any other channels and what they do and stuff. I don't care what they do. We all got different flavors. If I don't
There's
like
something for
something,
everybody.
I just won't watch it. If I don't like your channel or what you're putting out, your content, I just don't watch it. You won't see me on there. Well, Reina Creole, she's crap. Da, da, da. No, you will never see that. If I don't like what Miss Lorena Creole's doing, I won't watch her. I won't support her. That's what you do for me. If you don't like what I'm doing, I wish you would watch it, because I think I put out good content. I don't do things to say things to piss people off. I just give you my take on it. Not always going to agree, but
Speaking of agreeing, dude, because I love it when you come into, when the Dark Council has their show on and you drop in the chat, it's like, oh, shoot, Danny here. Get the popcorn out.
I'm gonna tell you what I like. That clip with Abu Nas, I will. That is my favorite clip of all time, man. I thought I was gonna die the first time you showed that, man.
Oh, you mean, wait a minute. You mean this one? Hang on.
Jugga.
That'll never get old.
Freaking best thing ever. Your expression during that clip is what sells it, dude.
Man, that is the funniest clip I have seen on YouTube in my entire life, man. Because he was all pissed off. He like, Jaga. What the hell is that about? Man, it was funny. That is funny, man.
Oh my God, that one. Oh, it does it. It never gets old. Everybody knows it's like, there's two clips. Play the one where you see Danny's expression on it.
Man, that thing is funny. Fatal J invite me on the show Tuesday night, so hopefully I'll be on there, man. First time on there.
Tuesday? All right, well, I'll be on there too, actually. So that's gonna work out great.
Yep, that'd be good. What time they usually start? I forgot.
Let's see. They usually supposed to start at 8:30, and they start getting a text from me about 10 minutes before showtime. Like, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Show about to start. Where you at?
They got the Chrissy syndrome, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I picked up Chrissy the other night.
But it's only one. We usually all know who it is who's late.
I had one thing I wanted to ask. Is that cool before we close out?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
Hey, Cece, I want to ask you one thing that maybe you can tell people when they see this later on. Can you recommend one thing that someone can go and enjoy that you've enjoyed, and see if you can pass it on to another person? What would it be?
The Tomorrow War, hands down.
Oh, shoot, I still got to see that. I got to see it before everybody else does.
That is the best movie I've seen on the streaming service so far this year.
Have you watched Nobody?
If I haven't.
Oh, dude.
But the reason I like Tomorrow War is because it was a father story. I got two daughters, And
Oh,
man, when
man.
he does all that for his daughters, whew. That and Fatherhood by Kevin Hart.
Mhm.
Oh,
Awesome movie.
that's on. I'm glad you brought that up. I keep forgetting to watch it. There's just so much I gotta freaking watch.
Yeah, it's a lot out there. It's a lot out there. It's so much. I'm trying to catch up now. I just caught up with Superman and Lois
Mhm.
today. So next is Flash.
That's another
So-
one. I gotta try to finish. I'm trying to
And
finish
Miss
watching
Creole,
Loki.
you got to watch the last season of Black Lightning. It is fantastic.
I'm so behind, dude. I'm so behind. That's one of them
Man,
too.
Tobias Whale is the most underrated villain I see in the DCU.
Dang it.
He
There's,
is
there's
underrated.
there's there's so much. You know what? Black Lightning, I need to start from the beginning. That's
Right,
something I want to do where I want to
fourth
start from the
season?
beginning. And
4th season is
and
5, bro.
I'm so sad.
Well, I just want to say before I go, thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate y'all taking the time out, reaching out to me. This is an awesome show. I hope you all are success, man. Y'all doing your thing, and hey, I'll return the favor. Maybe one day we can all get together, chop something up, whatever y'all want to do.
But that'd be great. That'd be great. You know, you got an open invitation, you know, to come back anytime.
As long as you stay invincible. See what I
Hey,
mean?
this is Omni-Man, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Hey, all they did, though, they stole that from doggone the Dragon Ball Z. They stole everything from Dragon Ball Z. Their Saiyans, their whatever, Ultramites, whatever. If they get beat up in a fight, they come back stronger. They live long life. That's straight up from Dragon Ball Z.
All they don't do
One
is turn the monkey.
one day I'll get around to Dragon Ball. I'm kind of
You
caught
missing
up in
it.
some. I'm caught up in some other anime right now.
Yeah.
But I get to it eventually.
Vegeta is the king. That's all I'm gonna say.
So I've heard.
Can you tell that to Drunk one day and tell him that Nappa is not the king?
Oh no, Nappa.
Nappa.
Danny's face right now.
He's like, what?
No.
Danny's face
That's
right now.
his favorite character. So just you can now you gotta tell him like
Didn't
Nappa,
Vegeta
really?
kill Nappa?
Yeah, he
Vegeta
did.
kill Nappa
Yeah.
twice. No.
Yeah.
Drunk is drunk. I have to tell
Yeah.
him that. No.
Oh, well, Danny, again, thank you so much for joining us, folks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for watching this video. Please do like his video, share this video. Please subscribe to everyone on this channel, especially Danny here at Comics Chat. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.
Peace.
We here at the lunch table also don't know why he chose Nappa. Dragon Ball forever.